Hey guys, it's Kiana. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to do another pregnancy update. This is going to be weeks 10, 11, and 12. And I'm going to try to do this a lot shorter. I like the pregnancy updates where they give a lot of information, but, you know, I still want it to be concise. So anyway, this is the start of week 10. This was June 15th to the 21st or something like that. In week 10, the symptoms were... Well, week 10, day 1, tender boobs, acne, fatigue, bloating, cravings, diarrhea, and food aversions. And the acne I wanted to mention was like on my forehead. I know some places on the face or whatever like mean certain things. Some acne like is hormonal. I can't remember which part of the face means that though. So if you know, somebody let me know that in the comments. But anyway, I said I was like feeling drowsy during work. I was like getting disgusted by what I was eating midway through my meal, so I would like have to like mentally tell myself like this food is good so that I wouldn't get nauseous while I was eating, because otherwise I would be like, wow, this is getting gross. And it was even happening for food I was looking forward to eating and stuff I had been like craving or whatever, and if I would eat it, then after a while I would just be like, all right, I'm disgusted. And that was weird to me. I was bloated after eating, and I noticed that I started to develop like a hemorrhoid. I don't know if I mentioned that in the other weeks, but by the sound of what I was saying, it was like it started to develop after like how many times I was going to the bathroom or something. So I felt like I was developing a hemorrhoid on day 1. Day 2, I said, of course, tender boobs, acne, fatigue, and cravings. I said that my lower belly was puffy, especially after eating. And acne, again, like I said, was on my forehead. My lower belly was feeling like more firm, and at first it was feeling like it was only like before I would like use the bathroom. So let's say I had to pee. If I had been holding it for a while, before I go, my stomach would be like firm, but then after I would go, it would be like a little softer. Of course, still was feeling the hemorrhoid. And then I said I was peeing multiple times throughout the night. And I had mild nausea when I was hungry or when I was thirsty. Day 3, didn't really say much, but I was fatigued. I had the urge to like go number 2. And I wasn't really feeling relieved after. Day 4, I had a headache, acne, fatigue, cravings, and like constipation. I said I was more emotional. I had a major headache that day. Nausea was due to the headache, and I also had fatigue that day. Then I had some interesting cravings. I was craving McDonald's fish fillet, pizza, tacos, Applebee's boneless wings, and a quesadilla. And then I said beef stroganoff hamburger helper and a margarita. So this was funny. Obviously it's stuff I can't have, but like the margarita, obviously I know I can't have that. But I don't know, out of nowhere, I just really wanted one. And I was like, man, I wish I could have a margarita. But as far as like the fish fillet and then the beef stroganoff hamburger helper, that's stuff I hadn't had in like years. So to be wanting it out of nowhere again was just cracking me up. But I wanted it like really bad. To day 5, I had cramps. Then I documented that I had a vivid dream. I woke up with a stuffy nose. I was feeling fatigued that day. Excuse me, I was having cramping or like round ligament pain, or maybe it was both. I didn't really know at the time what it was. And I had bloating in my lower belly, and that hemorrhoid was still like tender. Day 6, I had increased urination, bloating in my lower belly, and I don't know what I wrote right there, but that was basically it. Day 7, bloating, insomnia, and I said I had an increased appetite and I had a difficulty going to sleep. But I was very tired though. But for some reason, I just couldn't fall asleep. Now we're gonna move on to week 11. This was the week of June 22nd to, I didn't even write the last date. So 7 days, whatever, June 22nd plus 7 days, or 6 days. On day 1 of week 11, I said I had cramps, fatigue, bloating, and cravings. I said I was feeling drowsy. I had like mini cramps, increased urination, and I was craving French toasty French toast sticks like crazy. And I was like nauseous, and I had like heightened gag reflexes day 1. I don't know why. Day 2, I was feeling sad, and I was having like some obsessive thoughts. I don't particularly remember why, because I just didn't feel like going into it all the way, but I don't know, I was just feeling sad day 2. I was craving an omelet and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If I'm not mistaken, I did get the omelet that day, but I don't think I got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is something I don't eat often anymore either, so it was kind of weird that I was craving that. And looking back, I've craved that a lot throughout the weeks. But anyway, I had an upset stomach, and I tried Tums and ginger tea, and that combination helped. About after an hour, I started to feel better, but I had been feeling like trashed out like that whole evening, and for some reason it just didn't occur to me to like take something for it. And then my friend's like, yo, take this. Oh, you want some ginger tea? And I'm like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. So yeah, like I said, it helped after about an hour. Moving on to day 3, it was really hard to get out of bed this week. And I feel like it was the week before too, but I didn't really mention it as much, just like a lot of fatigue. But it was so hard to get out of bed around this time. I was feeling less tired during the day on day 3, but I had such a long to-do list, and I didn't really have an option but to like accomplish those things. So I feel like I noticed that I'm the type of person where if I have a lot to do and I don't have a choice, then somehow I just muster up the energy to get it done. But if it's like even slightly optional that I accomplish those things, then I'm like, I don't have the energy to do it. And this was at my job, so I really just didn't have a choice but to like make sure I got everything done. So yeah, I accomplished the to-do list, like I said, because I didn't have a choice. But I felt so sluggish and like just really drowsy. I noticed more discharge, and again, I was sluggish, especially after lunch. Day 4, I was cramping, had tender boobs, nausea, and bloating. I was craving piata. I noticed the increased appetite, and I was fatigued. So this day was kind of weird. While I was at my first residence house, my heart had skipped a beat like 3 times in a row. And I felt it, and it was like, oh, this is weird. And like immediately after the 3rd time it skipped a beat, I felt so fatigued, and the fatigue just lasted the whole day. I feel like whatever happened right then, it literally just took all of my energy. Like my heart was like skip, skip, skip. And then like I felt so like faint or something. So I sat down, and I started to feel nauseous after. Like I remember this so vividly because I was scared. I thought I was gonna pass out or something. But I ended up just sitting down in a chair for a few minutes, not doing nothing, trying to relax and like settle my stomach and just like, I don't know, like recover. But I do remember feeling just fatigued the whole rest of the day after that. I still don't know what that incident was, and I don't think I ever mentioned it to my doctor because I don't think it ever happened again. But I thought that was so weird. And maybe it was just ironic that it happened around the same time or something. I don't know. But I was feeling crazy after that, and I was so scared. But I was very gaggy that day. My stomach was hurting, and I tried to take Tums again since the combination of the Tums and the ginger tea worked the last time, and I didn't have ginger tea with me. But the Tums did not help. It didn't help at all. And that's kind of why I feel like I don't take Tums. No, it's not. This is why I don't take Tums. Long story short, my mom's gallbladder was failing her. We didn't know what it was at the time, but she had been taking medicine because her stomach was upset after eating some ice cream. And bro, when I tell you she was so sick that night, and after that I was like, I'm not taking Tums, because if I take Tums, it's gonna make me respond like that. But it happened to her like that for a whole different set of reasons. But in my head, I just be trying not to like medicate myself and just deal with stuff. That's why a lot of times when I be saying like I was experiencing certain symptoms, people probably be thinking like, why you didn't take something for it? And I'll be thinking like, let me not just be so dependent on medication. Even when it came to like cramps when I was on my period and stuff, even from like high school days, I would be like, I'm not gonna take nothing. Because I think after like pretty early on, I realized, wow, cramps are like contractions. Like they're preparing you almost for birth or labor or whatever. And I was like, if I could deal with these now, I'd probably be a G by then. So I've always like trained myself, I would say high school and on, train myself to not really like rely on medications. Long story short, the Tums didn't help me that day. The only thing that relieved the like nausea that I was feeling was laying on my side. And then I think it's called linea nigra. Whatever the case, the line that goes down pregnant ladies' stomachs that y'all see, that started to show up more this week. Or I feel like I didn't notice it until this week. But anyway, I said it showed up. And so mine is different. It doesn't, some women's goes just from their belly button, like below their belly button down. Mine goes from like my rib cage all the way down. So like past my belly button and everything. And that was some kind of like gender prediction thing too. And if I'm not mistaken, it was actually right. So I think they say if yours goes from like your rib cage, like past your belly button and everything, then it's a girl, and otherwise it's a boy. I don't remember. I forget what it means, but mine, like I said, goes from my rib cage past my belly button. So yeah, that showed up that week. I was experiencing some cramping, discharge. I was gassy, and I went to the bathroom like peeing so much. Day 5, I was feeling happy. I think it was Friday. I was happy. I was having some cramps and some sore boobs as usual. My knee was aching, and I noticed it was like a lot easier to drink water. Like before, I had been struggling to drink it, but I found it really easy day 5 to drink water. And I was noticing some leg cramps while I was walking, and then the ache started to like move up my back. And I was having like cramping and sore boobs that I already mentioned. Day 6, I had sore boobs, a headache, bloating, and cramps. That night, I had coughed like all through the night. My throat and my mouth just was really dry, and I felt kind of like I was choking in my sleep. My nose was stuffy when I woke up. Oh, I was saying like I was sure that I was starting to show because my stomach looked rounder, and I even asked my husband, I asked my friends, like, is it just me or do my stomach look rounder? Do it look like I'm fat or do it look like I'm pregnant? And everybody was saying like, no, it looks rounder, and it doesn't just look like fat, it looks like you are pregnant. So I guess I started to show probably about week 11, week 12. And I think what is this week? Yeah, this is week 11, week 10 or 11. But anyway, week 11 is when I was like, okay, you kind of being able to see something now. And I was actually like believing for myself that it's not just like I look like I'm getting fat or something. Anyway, had a headache, discharge. I was nauseous when I was hungry, and I had tender boobs. Day 7, I really didn't say much. I was gassy, I had an increased appetite, and I had sore boobs. Now week 12, this was the most interesting to document to me. Like looking back on it, and I was like, wow, this was funny. But day 1, I was having cramps, acne, and bloating. I said I was feeling stuffed. Acne was on my forehead again, and I had cramps, like I said. Then day 2, I had sore boobs. I was feeling gassy, and I had acid reflux. I was burping a lot, feeling very full, like my stomach was constantly being fully pushed out. And that was all. Day 3, I was tired and hot. It was like so hot outside, and I just felt so drained of all my energy. But I was hungry, but not for the stuff that was available, and I was feeling different in my belly. So that night I had a dream. It was weird, and I'll go into it more on day 4, but I had a dream, and I woke up that morning feeling really weird. Day 4, which was July 2nd, I reported having a headache and sore boobs. I said I was feeling better this week. Like I was feeling more normal. Like my symptoms were like mild or something. I didn't really feel bloated that day. But I did have an epiphany of, you know how women be saying like they feel like their body's not their own when they're pregnant, or like after they give birth. And that was the epiphany I had. Like, I was like, wow, I feel like I'm feeling that for myself, and I totally understand why women say that now. And it kind of like scared me, or it was just kind of disheartening to think about. I was like, wow, the fact that I have these symptoms, and at first everything was like really easy and smooth, and it didn't bother me that I had those symptoms. I was just more so like amazed and in awe and just like happy to like be having a baby. But then after a while, it started to like wear on me. Like, man, I'm so tired, and I can't even like shake the fact that I'm tired. Like, I don't have any control over this. And I think this week 12 is when I realized, like, I don't really have control over how my body feels right now. I kind of just wake up and observe, like, this is how it's feeling. Or at least I felt like I didn't have control. I think I really didn't. Like, I really don't know what I could have done differently that would have made me feel better. But yeah, I just realized my body is changing, and I don't really have control over how it's going to change. And that scared me, and it really just, it made me feel bad. But anyway, oh yeah, so the night before I had a dream, which had me feeling different physically. So in the dream, I think I like lost the baby or something. And it kind of stuck with me. So when I woke up, like, my stomach was feeling different. I didn't feel that full feeling that I had been feeling for weeks. I didn't feel like, I don't know, I just felt empty in my stomach, and it made me really scared and concerned. But luckily my nuchal translucency appointment was that day. So, well, it was an ultrasound. That ultrasound was that day. Excuse me. And my OB appointment was scheduled for the following Monday. So at the nuchal translucency appointment, you know, but yeah, so nuchal translucency is the ultrasound where they measure the length of the baby's neck, and it's to see if there's like any abnormalities in like the length and the fluid that's somewhere in there, and it can tell if they have like Down syndrome, whatever. So anyway, that was the day I had that appointment, and I got to hear the heartbeat, and I felt very reassured after that. Like, everything was fine. The dream was just a dream. That doesn't mean that anything's wrong with the baby. And at that day, I was referring to the baby as a boy, which I never really wanted to refer to it as one or the other, because then if it wasn't that, then I would have felt weird about it. But I was going with the flow. Anyway, the rest of that day, I had like acid reflux, achy butt and back. Like, it was just so achy when I would sit down for too long or anything like that. Or when I would get up to stand, I would like feel the ache. I was dizzy, and I had sore boobs. And I wanted to document, like, whether I say it or not, it's safe to assume that I'm having sore boobs, sore nipples every day. Literally, like, it just doesn't go away. There's really not many points of relief with that. Day 5, I was feeling sad, confused, had tender boobs, and I had a headache. And I was very emotional and overwhelmed because I wasn't really accomplishing like my to-do list, and that was really stressing me out, feeling like I just wasn't being productive or wasn't accomplishing anything. I felt like I was so tired from like not getting enough of quality rest. Like, I just wasn't sleeping long enough, and the sleep that I was getting just wasn't quality enough, because I'd be tossing and turning throughout the night, or going to the bathroom so many times. Excuse me. So that was getting to me that day. I had a sharp pain, like a throb in my left boob. That was weird. And something that was funny was that day I like cried so many times, like 3 different occasions I cried. I cried when my husband asked me what we should eat for lunch. And I remember like feeling, when he asked me that, I just felt so overwhelmed. Like, it was just another thing to think about and another thing to try to figure out. And when he asked me, it was just such a simple, genuine question. Hey, what you want from, like, what should we eat for lunch? And I was like tears just start falling down my eyes. Like, like, I just didn't want to answer it. I didn't want to have to think about anything. And then later on that day, he asked me if I wanted something from the grocery store, because he was about to go to the store. And he like, you want anything while I'm there? And I cried when he asked me that, because I was just like, I don't know what I want. And that made me cry, because I couldn't think. I didn't know what I wanted. I was just overwhelmed. And then later that evening, he gave me like a facial and like a back steam or like massage or whatever. And I cried then too, because I was just like, he's taking care of me. and I was just such an emotional mess that day, a whole hot mess. Moving on, day 6, I had cravings. I wanted hibachi and Mexican, which is funny because it was the 4th of July and you're supposed to eat like barbecue foods and stuff. And I was like, I want some hibachi, I want some Mexican. Anyway, day 7, I had tender boobs, a headache, fatigue, cravings. So I said the headache was mild, the cramping I had was mild, but I was craving stuff like sushi, and I was smelling spaghetti when there was like no spaghetti around and nobody was making any. I think I ended up making some the next day, but I was like craving it so bad. And sushi, I don't even like sushi. I don't like raw fish. I don't like nothing like that. Like when I'm not with child. So to have wanted it then, it was just cracking me up. But yeah, I wanted it like really bad. And I found myself in a grocery store when I was getting the supplies for the spaghetti. And I saw some sushi in the grocery store and I was like, wow, I should buy this, but I can't have raw fish. So then I was telling my husband, like, they got the options with the cooked stuff, and he was like, no, don't even try it. That is all for weeks 10, 11, and 12. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. I also wanted to point out that we've reached 100 subscribers, and I know that's not a lot, but it just made me happy to have reached a milestone. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Thank you to everybody who has viewed. I pray that y'all, not pray, but I hope that y'all continue to watch and support and subscribe and view and like and comment. I'm really appreciative. I'm really appreciative of all of the love and support I'm getting, especially through this process. Also, I wanted to let y'all know I'm going to drop the registry in the description box. So if you want to support in any way, whether a gift card or anything like that, please feel free. Family, friends, you know, those who actually know us and rock with us and everything like that, know that this is the registry I'm making. It's kind of like all inclusive, so it's Babylist, and it has like all of the baby stores. So say there's something on the list that you feel I would probably need that's not there, feel free to get a gift card for that store, or you know, whatever gifts that are on the registry, like just whatever you see fit to give. We'd be grateful either way. But like I said, thank you for watching this video all the way until this point, and check out my description for the baby registry. Thanks, guys.